Wow.
Hi, this is Maria Lloyd of the Your Black World Network, and this evening I have a very good friend of mine. I call her my health and wellness priest, Jean Ricks. Jean, how are you?
I'm well.
Good. So, Jean, if you could just introduce yourself to the Your Black World Network family, let them know who you are and what you do.
Well, I am, first of all, passionate about health and wellness. I am passionate about teaching people that they have in their power the opportunity to, at any time, improve their health and well-being. I'm former director of holistic wellness for City College of New York. I also do private consultations under my company, New Day, that's N-U-D-A-Y, New Day Holistic Health Counseling. And I'm honored to be here. What can I do for you?
Yes. Well, we are honored to have you here to speak to our audience. This is very crucial information that we need from you. As you know, African Americans, unfortunately, on the health side of things, we just aren't quite there yet. So we definitely need your expertise to help us get where we need to be. And so speaking of health, a story on the Your Black World Network that has really picked up some momentum is about NBC's Today Show's meteorologist, Al Roker. He kind of gave a little bit TMI in a lot of people's opinions, but basically he said he accidentally spoiled his pants while he was at the White House. And he's basically blamed it on his gastric bypass surgery. And a lot of people are grossed out, but the reality of the conversation is, is this surgery healthy? And is that do you feel, Jean, from your standpoint as a holistic wellness expert, would you recommend someone get a gastric bypass surgery to lose weight?
Absolutely not. It is a last resort. And I mean, we're talking about for people who are easily heading towards 300 pounds. Then, as a last resort, you can look at something like that, but as well it is not something that is going to be beneficial in the long run. Any surgery is serious, very serious. There is no simple surgery, and you run a lot of risks whenever you're going under surgery. And there are a lot of dirty little secrets that they don't tell you about that. And about liposuction. Liposuction is another very serious, very dangerous procedure, and people do not discuss the dangers with their patients, unfortunately, as much as we want a quick fix for things. We can't take those routes. There are much better alternatives and much easier alternatives that we don't take advantage of because we just haven't had the information.
Okay. So if you could kind of give us a little bit of an idea. I mean, I don't expect you to go into too thorough detail now, but why is a gastric bypass surgery dangerous? And also, if you could just outline what are those healthier alternatives that we can utilize to lose weight and stay healthy?
Well, again, when they're doing gastric bypass, you're talking about a very serious surgery. The whole point of the procedure is to literally bypass the gastric system. So they're literally bypassing. You're going straight into the bowel. And when you vivisection, when you cut into a bowel at any point, there are many, many things that can go wrong. There are many things that can go right. But again, what you're doing is bypassing the body's natural, if you will, the original design print for the gastric system was very well designed, and you are now tinkering with it to an extreme. So what happened to him is unfortunate, but there are also things, for instance, a lot of people don't realize that over time you can, if you will, stretch that muscle back out, and you can still overeat. Seepage is what they sometimes call it, is quite common with people who have gastric bypass surgery. Another quite common thing is to have a lot of indigestion. It is not a simple procedure. But let me talk more about what you can do, what each and every person can do, because I like to get into mitigation. I like to talk about what you can do. So first and foremost, I just finished literally with a client who was telling me she's so busy at her desk all day. She barely gets up to go to the bathroom, but she also does not eat all day. She had her first meal at around 4:30 p.m., and she gets up at around 5. So her body has had no food. She's also very overweight. That's why we're working together. Now, here's the thing, Maria. Your body doesn't know that you are purposely not eating. It doesn't have a switch that says, oh, she's just coasting. It doesn't have that. It only knows that it's not getting sustenance. It's not getting food. It's not getting nutrients. It thinks you're out in the middle of the desert, and it has a very specific mechanism that nature has put in place to deal with that. It's called starvation mode. When you are in starvation mode, your body literally will cannibalize itself. It's called cannibalization. And what it does is it draws the proteins that it needs from you. It draws the carbs from you. When you talk about someone like Luther Vandross, who died at such an extremely early age, but he did all that yo-yo dieting, what that yo-yo dieting does, unfortunately, when your body takes that protein that it needs, for instance, it takes it from your muscle. It doesn't discriminate which muscle, it just takes it. It can take it from your heart muscle if need be. It will just take the protein that it needs to keep your body functioning. The other thing is, when you do finally begin eating again, and this is something I ran into with a client of mine who was addicted to doing the lemonade diet. I won't go into what the lemonade diet is. I'm sure most of your listeners know what it is, but I don't want to give the prescription for it because I don't want people to start doing it. But she was doing the lemonade diet, and she was addicted to doing it. So whenever she came off of it, suddenly she would gain weight. And she thought it was because of the food that she was eating. It's not. Maria, what happens is once you're out of starvation mode, your body will now look at any calorie you get, any carb, and say, oh, my God, I've got to hold on to this because I don't know when she's going to feed me again. And so you begin to gain weight because your body is now holding on. It will not let you lose weight. Literally, if you started trying to diet afterwards, for instance, going back to a routine schedule of eating, it's just going to keep gaining weight. So what do you do? The best way of eating is what our body was originally designed to do, which is to have 4 to 5 small meals throughout your day. People don't realize it, but this whole 3-meal-a-day concept came because of the Industrial Revolution. Factory workers who came to work with their lunchbox and people who worked in offices, and they were only able to get to food at 3 times a day. But that's not the way the original design was set up. We were meant to forage throughout the day, and that's what we have to get back to if we want to lose weight. When you see people with these big midsections, with what we call belly fat, that's a clear indication that they are now in a mode of insulin resistance. Why? Because they're under stress. Their cortisol levels are up. And more importantly, now their body is not using glucose in the way it's meant to. So what happens is it stores it in that belly region, and you get, yes, belly fat. So, again, mitigation. What do? You eat 4 to 5 small meals a day. And when I say small, I mean 200 to 400 calories. And what does that mean? Okay. Imagine if you had a turkey breast and you cut that in half. You've got a quarter of a breast now, and you have some rice with that, or you have, even better, some carbohydrate of broccoli, cauliflower, something like that. You try to have small portions. You have a handful of raw nuts, not your favorite kind of nuts. I know you enjoy those roasted nuts. No, we're not looking to add oil and salt to our diet. We're looking for raw nuts. You can have a handful of raw nuts. I'm just estimating is about 200 calories, and you're good to go. So you have a decent breakfast, and again, yes, you need breakfast because breakfast sets off a chemical reaction in the brain that sets it up for metabolizing the rest of the day. That's why it is the most important meal of the day, but it doesn't have to be a huge breakfast. Again, just a couple of slices of turkey bacon and some rye toast, and you're good to go. Or a couple of slices of jicama and some raw nuts. It can be something as simple as a bowl of oatmeal with an egg. You still need protein with each carb. But anyway, so you're going to have 4 to 5 small meals a day. You're going to exercise 3 times a week. And when I say exercise, I don't mean you're going for an hour. We have, since science has shown us we've been exercising in a completely with the wrong manner. These long periods of exercise are not what the body was designed to do. Have you ever seen a gazelle out for a run, out for a jog? No, that's not what we do.
Right.
Our bodies are meant for short bursts of energy. So you do what's called high-intensity interval training. After, of course, you've been cleared by your doctor for physical activity. And it's this simple, let me tell you. It's 2 minutes of warm-up and then 30 seconds, exactly 30 seconds, of the most high intensity that you possibly can. I mean, going full out. And then 90 seconds at a medium pace. You do the 30 seconds high intensity, 90 seconds medium intensity. You do that 8 times, 30-90, 30-90, 30-90, and you're done. What this does is it sets up a chemical reaction in your brain. During that 90 seconds, it almost goes into its recovery cycle, but then you snap right back into your 30 seconds of high intensity. That is what high-intensity interval training does, and it immediately works on the belly fat because your body looks for the quickest place it can get that energy from, and that happens to be the midsection. This is something you can do on a bicycle, you can running in place. I use a mini trampoline because it's very low impact on your joints. It's something that will not affect injuries or any kind of sensitivities in their joints. You can also use an elliptical. It's not good on a treadmill, but an elliptical is good. But those are the two main things that will help you lose weight. I mean, you'll see a dramatic shift in your body weight within 3 weeks at the most. And that's because you are now feeding it on a regular basis. You're feeding it 4 to 5 times. That keeps your insulin level from dropping. That means you're always keeping your glucose level constant. So you're eating 4 to 5 small meals, and you're doing high-intensity interval training 3 times a week. You'll see an amazing transformation in your body very, very quickly.
Wow. Well, thank you very much for giving us that great information. Now, Jean, how can people keep in touch with you and stay abreast of what you're doing? I know that you have a book, so, you know, for people who may not be able to afford you for personal consultations, of course, they can always get your book. So how can we stay in touch with you?
Please come to my website, NUDAY, that's New Day, NUDAY.org. And, of course, people can afford me, because if it's not an individual session, put together 2 or 3 friends. We can do 2 or 3 people at the same time.
Wow.
But newday.org, and I do sessions by Skype, too. And my Skype name is JRicks2. And my telephone number here in the city is 212-502-3579. But, of course, I do consultations as far away as London because of Skype.
Wow.
So we can always Skype session.
Okay, that is amazing. Well, thank you very much. And for our readers at the Your Black World Network, we thank you for your continued support. Make sure you check out the article again about Al Roker's situation on yourblackworld.com. Thank you so much, and you guys have a good night. And Jean, thank you again for your expertise.
Thank you, Maria.